Ever wonder why teams speak but never understand each other? Could effective project management actually be the bridge for this particular gap? But you mind if I tell you a short story? One day, a confident group of stakeholders, they approached me and boldly said, "We've got this project under control. We don't really need a project manager." I smiled politely and just stepped back. But fast forwarding 1 month into the project, I received a meeting invite family that entitled Emergency Meeting. Suddenly, their green project had turned a very bright shade of red. Let's just think of it like almost like a fire engine red. We sat down for this emergency meeting and they were nervously asking, "So, Ed, how would you fix this?" Well, I stepped back for a moment and I said, "Well, give me 24 hours. I dug into the artifacts that they had. And sure enough, just like countless projects I've led before, there was one piece that it ties to all of the projects, which is overlooking the communication aspects. See, there was a disconnect between the vendor and the team that were, or the stakeholders that were leading the project. There was a disconnect between the individuals that were doing the actual work and the stakeholders. Therefore, I reminded them why project management matters. It's not just about managing tasks. It's about bridging communication gaps into smooth, successful collaboration. Point number one, bridging communication gaps between disconnected team members. See, project managers strategically bridge communication gaps between teams, departments, stakeholders, fundamentally around aspects, especially when it comes to when you look at operations versus IT or marketing versus finance. See, project managers, they provide a clear channel translating and aligning teams' specific priorities to foster mutual understanding. And most of all, you guys know my favorite word here is collaboration. This is important because being able to reduce these communication breakdowns, you improve your alignment. It also helps break down the silos that are actually created. And then overall, you improve your efficiency. And then this leads to a faster and smoother project completion. Experiment with these actionable tips. Schedule regularly cross-functional meetings with clear and shared agendas. Number two, establish collaborative goals that emphasizes mutual benefit. And the last and final one, utilize some type of visual communication, whether that's a shared dashboard, whether that's a information radar, or radiator, whatever that visual dashboard looks like for you. And I want to give you a pro tip because this is one of these things that I see happens a lot, like I shared in the story. A lot of times the reason why projects break down is the gap in communication. So here's my pro tip for you. Position yourself as a central connector who proactively, that is the key word, proactively identifies and closes communication gaps to ensure a project meets its goals and expectations. Point number two, balance visionary thinking and being pragmatic. What does that look like? See, project managers effectively balance ambition, visionary goals with executives on the day-to-day realities faced by the teams, ensuring that the project remains both innovative and executable. This is important because this prevents visionary ambitions from derailing practical project execution, maintaining stakeholders' confidence by demonstrating realistic yet innovative progress. Experiment with these actionable tips. Clearly define the strategic vision alongside achievable and short-term milestones, regularly reassess and recalibrate goals as projects evolve, advocate for incremental delivery approaches to align visionary ideas with practical or pragmatic constraints. And my pro tip for you on this one today, family, is be adept at negotiating scope and expectation, making it clear that project management is not about limiting vision, but maximizing the value of the achievable impact it can have. Point number three, navigating organizational ambiguity. See, project managers thrive in uncertain, evolving environments by providing clarity and direction despite the organizational complexity, the shifting of priorities, as well as unclear directive. This is important because project managers ensure continuous progress, maintaining team morale and prevents paralysis or what we say productivity dropping due to uncertainty. Experiment with these actionable tips. Embrace an agile mindset that supports adaptive decision making. Next one, clearly document decisions made in ambiguous situations to provide a reference point. Communicate transparently and frequently to address ambiguity head on. Here's another pro tip I want to give you, family. As you can see, I make sure I continue to provide as much value as possible, especially for my new project managers or people that are actually leading projects and need a refresher. So here's my pro tip. Frame ambiguity as an opportunity for leadership rather than setback. This mindset of yours will enhance your team's resilience and adaptability. Point number 4, translate technical jargon into business value. This is my favorite. See, project managers translate complex technical concepts into accessible business language, ensuring stakeholders understand the direct value and strategic impact of these technical tasks or decisions that are required. This is important because this enhances the stakeholder buy-in and improves the decision-making clarity and maintains ongoing project support. What tends to happen is that, family, when you are working with a technical team, is that you have to be able to boil those concepts down and sell them back to the stakeholders that are actually that you need buy-in from, because they want to know, well, why are we building this? Why are we going from, let's say, on-prem, meaning we have servers on-prem, to going into the cloud? And maybe they understand the cloud aspect, but being able to break down the reason why. Well, it's because of cost. Well, it's because of easeability of being able to do certain things that we may not have to do. So being able to explain with clear, concise conversation and allow them to ask questions and make sure that they feel safe asking the question. I know that sounds weird, but it is. It's the honest truth. Being able to make your stakeholders feel safe, like there is no such thing as a dumb question because they're not as close to the project as you are. Here's my actionable tips I love for you to experiment with. Develop concise, plain language summaries for technical deliverables. Conduct stakeholder-specific presentations that link technical results directly to the business outcome. And the last and final one, train teams to communicate their progress and challenges in business impacting terms. Here's a pro tip I love for you to think about. Position yourself as a translator in chief, strengthening your authority as the critical interference, or I should say interface, between technical execution and strategic management. Point number 5, transform conflict into constructive dialogue. Project managers strategically address and resolve conflicts by framing disagreements as opportunity for team growth, creativity, and continuous improvement, rather than threats or to the harmony of the actual project teams. This is important because this enhances your trust with the team, your innovation and productivity within the team, turning potential barriers into, watch this, family, into actual assets. So experiment with these actionable tips. Establish a clear conflict resolution protocol and communicate these proactively. The next one, facilitate open and respectful discussions about disagreements, focus on solutions rather than blame. And then the last one, encourage a team culture that views conflict as natural and potential beneficial. I know that's probably going to be one that you may have some challenges with, like, how do you turn conflict and something that's natural, that is not attacking the individual, but is attacking the work. And when I use the word attacking, meaning I should have used a better word of saying challenging. Why wouldn't you want someone to be able to challenge the work or challenge if they're coming from a good place? Then the only way you can find out they're coming from a good place is this is how you enhance the trust. Because once you enhance the trust, then you have a better understanding from where this individual is coming from. Here's another pro tip I want to throw in for you, family. Regularly demonstrate calm, constructive approaches to conflict, reinforcing your role as a respected leader who can guide teams effectively through challenges. Point number 6, create accountability for invisible tasks. Project managers explicitly recognize and assign ownerships to tasks that are essentially yet frequently overlooked, such as documentation, knowledge management, or even just your routine administrative responsibility. This is important because this prevents overlooked tasks from becoming project risk, reduces the likelihood of unexpected disruptions, or the worst case, failures. So experiment with these actionable tips. Incorporate hidden task explicitly into project schedule and assign clear ownership. Regularly follow up on task completion during status meeting. And the last one, highlight the strategic importance of these tasks to ensure ongoing commitment. Here's a pro tip I would love for you to think about. Build your reputation by advocating for strategic value in tasks that typically go unnoticed, emphasizing comprehensive accountability. Point number 7, protect teams from external noise. Say what? I said external noise. See, project managers actively shield teams from organizational distraction, unnecessary bureaucracy, political pressures, ensuring team members stay focused, or what I like to say, keeping the main thing, and that is focused on critical project activities. This is important because this boosts teams' productivity, engagement, and mental wellness by reducing stress and improving construct concentration on core responsibilities. Experiment with these actionable tips. Clearly define your role as a primary interface for external queries or interruptions. Next one, create a structured communication flow that minimizes disruption. The last and final one, regularly remind external stakeholders of team boundaries and protocols for requests. Here's a pro tip I love to leave you with. Actively maintain and defend boundaries around your team. This demonstrates a visible commitment to their well-being as well as their effectiveness. Point number 8, curate stakeholders' expectations. Again, curate stakeholders' expectations. Project managers proactively shape and manage stakeholders' expectations through clear communication, strategic updates, and transparent decision-making rather than passively responding to unrealistic demands. This is important because this prevents stakeholders' dissatisfaction, definitely project overruns, and misunderstanding, which again allows for a smoother project execution and sustained stakeholder trust. So experiment with these actionable tips. Regularly validate expectations with stakeholders just to ensure alignment. The next one, provide concise, realistic updates on project statuses, potential risks, and realistic outcomes. And the last and final one, use visual tools like we talked about before, for whether that's a roadmap, a dashboard, etc., so you can clarify and manage expectation. And this is my last and final pro tip for you, family. Establish yourself as an authoritative voice who carefully manages expectation. Position your role as a proactive curator rather than a passive communicator. Well, family, I appreciate if you stay here this long with me. I truly appreciate it. I just have a couple closing remarks and I'll send you on your way. Remember these 3 key points. Bridging communication gaps. This basically means breaking down silos, unifying disconnected teams. Next one is transform conflict, convert disagreements into constructive dialogue. And the last and final one, protect your team. Shield your team from external distractions. Listen, family, I just don't want you to absorb this information. I want you to put it into action. Select one key area from today's discussion. Make a commitment, not an interest, but a commitment to improving it immediately. Your leadership in project management is defined not by what you know, but by what you consistently do. Lead proactively and act intentionally. Well, family, I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, that just simply means Ed. Until next time.